I decided to make the first video of 2019 with recycled shavings from that really pretty rescued cedar firewood bowl. I get a lot of questions and comments about what I do with my shavings from all these projects, and I save them. These particular shavings have been in that brown paper bag for months. So with a few handfuls of these shavings and some resin that I got on sale at a big box store, and now that I finally have my pressure pot set up right, I'm going to try and make a bowl. And after taking it out of the pressure pot, I'm encouraged to see how good the blank looks. Before I start turning though, I want to show you some new tools in my inventory. Valerie from Carter and Son Toolworks out of Seattle, Washington contacted me and offered me some tools to try out. And how could I say no to that offer? Now, there's no strings attached. There's no expectation of commentary or anything like that. But I'm going to give my honest opinion on these tools, as I would do anything else. So right off the bat, just as soon as I picked these things up, I could tell that there's a lot of quality involved in the crafting of these tools. Just the fit and the feel, the weight and the balance. So far, so good. We'll see how they work, and I'll give my final comments on the tools at the very end of the video. So I tried turning without a glove on that supporting hand, and I've got to say that was a huge mistake. Those little chunks of hardened resin that come off of that bowl, those things hurt. It's like shards of glass hitting you. This is that 3/4 inch bowl gouge, the wood beater. And I really like the weight of this tool. I'll tell you, this resin is going to give these tools a workout. It's glass hard. And this is my first really dedicated resin piece. And holy cow, does this stuff make a mess. It goes everywhere. The resin, when it doesn't come off of the tool in clumps like that, it comes off in these really light strands that are charged with static electricity, and for some reason they flew right towards me. So by the end of this, I looked like I was covered in a spider web. This little 3/8 inch bowl gouge, it's really handy. I'll be using this one a lot, I can tell. Just a good size. I sanded this from 150 to 500 dry, and then switched to wet sanding with 1200, and then also wet sanding with micro mesh up to 12,000 grit. Turned out nice and shiny. And something that I did not capture on film was the fact that the mortise that I had cut was too shallow. So I had to remount it onto the worm screw and deepen that mortise, which got me really close to that waste block of wood, which is unfortunate, but it worked out okay. The bottom of the bowl just ended up a little bit thinner than I was anticipating. And there you can see the rest of that waste block down in the base of the bowl. I do finally get it out, but it took a little bit of work just to make sure I wasn't going to punch through the bottom. I'm using that negative rake scraper quite a bit to take care of that issue. I'd been using that heavy round nose scraper for so long. It was a real pleasure using this negative rake scraper. I'd never used one before now. It's definitely a weapon in my arsenal that I'll be going back to often. The only time I sharpened this 3/4 inch bowl gouge during this project was right before this shot. It's because I was doing some finishing cuts, and I wanted to take it to the 600 grit CBN wheel. You could see it took off some hair-like shavings. Real nice. And here I just hit it with, you know, the same grits I'd used before, up to 12,000 micro mesh. Sure turned out pretty. You can see at the base there, a little corner of that waste block was still there, but that's okay. Adds a little bit of character. So I really like how this turned out. And I've got a lot of shavings saved up. A bunch of different colors. Red heart, yellow heart, walnut, maple, mahogany. I want to thank all of my subscribers. I just can't thank you enough. And if you haven't subscribed and you like what you're seeing here, click that button. It's free, and it helps me. And I'd appreciate your support. Thanks for watching. Semper Fi. And I want to thank Valerie and everybody else at Carter and Son Toolworks. I really like these tools. I like the weight. I like the balance. I like the fact that I didn't have to sharpen these things. The steel's amazing. So thank you very much.